This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
The JackJumpers and the Sixers square off in Adelaide. This is Adelaide's first game of the season. They've been over in the States beating up on the Phoenix Suns, whilst Tassie, it's been a struggle to open the season. Just 1 win and 3 losses for the JackJumpers, and I don't think tonight will be any easier. Now let's have a look at a same game multi. High scoring game, 164.5 seems a little low. I think both teams will be keen to get up and down the floor, so take the over 164. But Adelaide 1-10, the JackJumpers can keep this thing close. Enjoy the game, Adelaide v Tassie, and if you're having a bet, gamble responsibly.
You know the score. Stay in control, gamble responsibly.
The Adelaide 36ers' history-making win over NBA powerhouse Phoenix 10 days ago stunned the basketball world.
And that will do it.
Adelade's incredible three-point barrage in the States has 36ers fans dreaming of the glory days, when Adelaide was known as Title Town and their team was the NBL measuring stick. But the Tasmania JackJumpers are here tonight to spoil the homecoming party, fresh off their rousing overtime win against Brisbane 4 days ago.
Tasmania are there. Their first win of the season comes on their home floor from 16 down. Winners in overtime.
Expectations are sky high and South Australia is buzzing ahead of the 36ers' first home game of the new NBL season. With their exciting new look lineup making their home debut, rarely, if ever, has there been so much hype for a round 3 clash.
Well, it's the hottest ticket in Adelaide and drawing attention around the NBL and beyond. The NBA conquering Adelaide 36ers are back in town and everyone wants to see what the fuss is about. We are live from the Adelaide Entertainment Centre as round 3 of the Hungry Jacks NBL gets underway, with perhaps a record crowd joining us in the house as well. We've got a lot to look forward to. Hello everybody, I'm John Casey. Great to have your company here on a Thursday night. And great to be with the NBL legend, the Adelaide man who has his singlet hanging for the rafters, his name on the court, Brett Maher. Things haven't been like this since you won the championship in 2002.
Well, fond memories, Case. We actually went over and beat China that year, which was a first. These guys have beaten Phoenix, so there's some synergy there. We hope they can back it up tonight.
You guys went under the radar, though. This team from Adelaide has got everyone watching, and they've got a target on their back.
Yeah, everyone's going to be hunting them down. They're shooting from them against Phoenix. Everyone knows what they can do at the offensive end, but at the defensive end as well. They've got some great players, so it'll be great to see.
This was extraordinary against Phoenix, winning a massive 134 points, 9 threes from Randall. They really cranked it up and just couldn't miss.
What I loved about this game was the fun that they had. They just kept on shooting, they kept going in. They shot at 60% from 3, which is unheard of. And even the Phoenix guys were laughing at the end that they just kept dropping shots. So I hope they can have that fun right through the season and just keep on carrying that momentum.
Mitch McCarron's been a massive pickup for this team. When he came here as the hottest free agent in the country, he was determined to make things happen. 16 assists in that NBA game.
He's a great playmaker. He's got great shooters around him this year as well, so that's really going to help. 16 assists. I mean, they hand him out a bit easier in the NBA, but that's still very impressive, and we'll look forward to seeing him dish those nice little passes tonight.
Yeah, the no-look pass is a gem, and he can get people involved, and he really has to orchestrate this star-studded lineup Adelaide have put together.
Yeah, I think so. He sets the tone at the defensive end as well, so he'll be the point of the arrow there, but offensively he'll be getting into the gaps, looking to get Randall, Franks, Cleveland, all of those guys shooting from the outside.
Well, those names are up in lights at the moment. You talk about Randall, Franks, Cleveland, and people like Milton Doyle, a new recruit in the NBL, come in here thinking, yeah, well, I'll show them what I've got.
Well, I love watching him on Sunday. 32 points against Brisbane. He was consistent right through the game, inside, outside. He showed everything. Really looking forward to what he can do against some quality defence tonight.
And they're going to need a little bit more out of Josh Paget tonight as well. Didn't play a lot down the stretch in that overtime win against Brisbane that you spoke of. He's a much better player than we've seen so far. Second in the league in assists last year, top 10 in steals. He's yet to find his groove this season.
Yeah, he hasn't quite hit it. He'll be looking to set the tone, get into the gap, set the guys up. Kelly was very good. McVeigh's had a great start to the season. Looking to see what he can do against his old team. And Weeks stepped up and hit some killers as well. So they've got some good avenues. Hopefully they can fire tonight.
I like the brave coaching from Scott Roth as well. He elected not to go with Majette because he wasn't getting it done. But I also like the maturity of Majette, who was there in the huddle, talking things up, supporting his teammates when he could have quite easily just sat in the corner and sulked a little bit.
Yeah, Scott Roth is a great coach. He's got his whole team to buy in on what he's doing. And defensively, they are such a good team.
Well, let's get ready to go here and send it to the commentary team. A former 36ers star, Mitch Creek, standing by with Liam Santamaria and Alistair Nicholson.
Can't wait for this case. They are the pride of Australian basketball. Let's look at the champion starting five for the 36ers, Liam.
Yeah, that's the crew we expect to see throughout the season. Good to see Daniel Johnson out there. Came in under an injury cloud.
And Mitch for the JackJumpers. Bit of talk about Josh Majette and whether he would be starting. He is going to take his place in the champion starting lineup for the JackJumpers tonight.
Yeah, look, he's got to have a big one tonight. Being quiet for the first few games, but it's the play from Milton Doyle and Jack McVeigh. They're the two energy guys, leaders of the team. They need to step on and have a big one.
So what an atmosphere building in Adelaide. The home team back and ready to start its NBL campaign in season 23 when they have very high expectations of what they might be able to achieve, and those expectations perhaps among the fans only rose with recent performances in the US. And Santamaria was there, of course, as that produces nothing for the 36ers. Here's Majette with a lot of pressure, I suppose, on him in a way. How would he be feeling as a player, Mitch?
Look, it's one of those things. Every great player is going to have moments where they're doubted and when their form's not really clicking. This is going to be a great start.
Oh, Majette, there's the response.
Mate, he heard me talking to him. His ears are burning. It's great to see him play. As I was saying, every great player is going to have moments of doubt within themselves and coming from other avenues as well. But great players respond, and to start a game like that, that's perfect for him.
Randall to Johnson, it doesn't go. Johnson wanted the foul. Doyle likes the look of this. Great start, JackJumpers.
Red hot start, back-to-back triples, and that was wide open for Milton Doyle. The defense broke down.
And that comes from Majette as well.
And the steal from Majette. He is keen to make a statement.
Here we go.
Two.
Here we go.
Red hot.
Timeout, Adelaide. Majette's gone bang. Hits the triple, finds his open teammate on the arc, and then a steal. They're up 9-zip.
Well, the Amy replay. Here's Majette up top.
You just couldn't have scripted it any better. For a guy coming in after a rough couple of nights, benched in the second half, and look at the start he's got off to, and the crowd there in Adelaide is silent.
Look, that's tough. You know, Josh is involved with all three plays there too. First pick and roll, hits the short roll, comes back to him for a three. He looks at that possession for the second time. Elbow comes with the help, and then all of a sudden you've got Milton Doyle, who's already come off a great game, 32 points, steps into a wide open one.
Majette, three-pointers in 4 games coming into this. He's got 2 in 78 seconds of game time. The JackJumpers have got 9 points already. First quarters have been an issue for them. They've averaged only 17 points per game in first quarters this season, been really slow out of the blocks.
He's just locked in, clearly, and you see his awareness there in the back court, a little bit of laissez-faire attitude from Adelaide, advancing up the floor, and Majette takes advantage.
You want to see Adelaide really come out with fire here. You know, you've gone and played the NBA, you've just done something that no one else has ever done in Australian basketball history. You come back in, you don't want to underestimate Tasmania. They're a hell of a team, grand final contenders last year. You want to see them step up and take this really serious right now before it gets ugly.
So Randall will be one they're very keen to watch. He drives, puts up the floater, and it goes.
It's just a scorer. Craig Randall, you saw what he did from beyond the arc. In the States, of course, 14 triples at 50% over the course of those 2 games, but can make plays off the bounce going towards the cup as well.
First NBL points, eye-catching. McVeigh, who's been one of the key scorers for the JackJumpers this season, along with Doyle. Bounce pass to Chris Levick into the paint. The shot doesn't go. And Johnson with the rebound.
He checked.
Randall's going to have a few long-range attempts tonight.
We talked about all green light team last week in my first broadcast, and I reckon he might be captain this year.
I'm not sure CJ agrees.
Milton Doyle short on the shot. Randall the rebound. Ooh. Getting a little heated there between Majette and McCarron.
White, 20, hold.
Fouls on Chris Levick. So, Liam Santamaria, just give us a little insight. What was the atmosphere like? What was the occasion like being there for that amazing victory over the Phoenix Suns?
It was phenomenal. In the back of my mind, I always thought one of our teams was gonna do that one day, and but to be there in the building is they just continued to hit shots throughout that second half, and it was just mesmerising. Franks and Randall from way downtown, and eventually, oh boy,
what a play.
Doyle with the big block.
Spiked that away. Milton Doyle. Eventually it just got beyond reach, and all of a sudden it became reality.
Even listening to the commentary when Gazy was in there, I don't know if they can keep this up. It's been fantastic, but I'm sure the Suns will get going, and the longer it went, the more apparent it became that this Adelaide 36ers side had something really special brewing. McVeigh on the spin to the baskets. Magnificent play.
That's a great start from Jack. We always talk about his energy being one of the most uplifting things for himself and any team. So to see him get an early one like that is huge for his confidence as well.
Love that from Robert Franks. Had the mismatch in transition and just sealed up. Deep catch, easy finish at the rim.
Doyle draws the foul.
There's the block from Doyle, just timed it. Beautiful. Put that weak stuff away. This is tough, as you said, Creaky. Aggressive in attack against his former teammate. Finishes with the left.
And DJ had that injury cloud. He was sidelined over in America, coming in. You want to go and test that early. And Jack, coming off a great game last time, you want to go and test the waters, and Jack's not afraid to get him up, and to see his confidence go like that, first touch, I think he's due for a big one tonight.
Milton Doyle gets them both to go. He'd have to be a pretty happy man despite the stern look on his face at this start. McCarron out to Franks. JackJumpers ball. What about you, Mitch? You're naturally watching as well as a player within this league, watching another team produce what it produced against Phoenix. What was it like for you?
I remember being at training. We have a rule at training. It's a no-phone policy. Gym, on court, anywhere it is after training, we have a no-phone policy. And we were sitting at the table.
Jet's having fun. He's having some fun.
He's in for a big one. And as I was saying, we have a no-phone policy, but I was sitting there and I said, look, this game's about to start. And we all huddled around and started watching it. And we all kind of did the same thing. We said first quarter, like, oh, this is amazing, good start. Second quarter, half-time, you're like, oh, yeah, might turn. Third quarter, fourth quarter, and all of a sudden we were all glued to it. We couldn't, you couldn't turn away. It was, something those guys are going to remember forever, not just playing against some of the best players in the NBA, but beating them on their home floor.
McVeigh, the fake, but not the finish. Bairstow on the floor for the JackJumpers. Kenyon kicks it out. Milton Doyle sets his feet.
Bet your house on it.
This is some start from the JackJumpers.
He's feeling good. Milton Doyle, that's wide open, easy hit for Doyle. They're going to reset the shot clock here. That's 8 early points for Doyle after the 32 the other day. But again, offensive rebound. This team's been tough on the offensive boards to begin this season. Bairstow comes in, muscles up, they win an extra possession, wide open look.
And that's what Tassie do. They beat you with the 1%ers. It's diving on loose balls, it's deflections, it's not boxing out, paying attention to people who, without no disrespect, they may not be the most, talented players in the league, but their talent and their skill set is playing harder than you. And you respect them. Those guys are just so valuable to this team. And the score reflects that right now.
Cleveland on the move. Great defence again from the JackJumpers, but the follow-up, Cleveland comes up with the points. Josh Majed. His match scores 2.7 points, 3.7 points. Season high of 8 tonight already. There's Rashard Kelly doing what he does.
And so that's 5 offensive rebounds here in the first 5 minutes and change. And no doubt CJ Bruton would have come into this game imploring his team, block out, finish defensive possessions, because they've been struggling a little bit from the field, the JackJumpers, but winning extra possessions, giving himself extra opportunities, and that's been big for him here in the early going.
Who's looking more attentive there, Case or Scott Roth at the moment? Casting a very close eye over this game. And Karen. Detch. It doesn't go again. Frank's the offensive rebound. Bairstow away to Majed. Doyle. Not this time.
Wow, 20-6. The 36ers, they're the 12th team to return after playing NBL, NBA preseason games. And those teams over the journey are 4 wins and 7 losses in their first game back. So the question was always going to be, how will they handle the transition, the jet lag? Will they have the energy? Well, off to a little bit of a slow start.
Karen trying to get something going there, but to no avail. Rashard Kelly in transition. Fouled on the way to the basket.
It's what he does best, getting downhill. He's strong, he's agile, he finishes really well with both hands. Spent a bit of time with him in the TBT over in America in the off-season, and he was good to watch, man. Very, very tough guy to cover. In that situation, you just got to wall up, put your arms straight up in the air, elbows next to your ears, and say, finish that.
The money team.
Yeah, the money team.
Nearly got it done.
Well, I'll tell you what, we came in a little bit muddy and out of shape, so I think this year coming we're going to have to really saddle up, and I know the boys are pretty keen to get back. Fredette and you know, some of the guys we had playing there hadn't done a whole lot of work going into it, so
these kids are hungry, I think. They're not going to be fed here courtesy of Rashard Kelly, and they're not happy about it either.
That's a scary place to be, man. I think for the first 3 games of the season, I missed my first free throw every time. And even though I was on the home court, I still think about it. It's like virtual cheeseburgers.
Oh, my. Hungry Jack's living rent-free in Mitch Creek's head.
Literally.
Oh, that's a long shot
here he
from
goes.
Josh Majed, who's feeling it big time.
Wow, what a start from Majed. 11 points, a dime, 2 steals. And there's 7 of 12 from the field, 5 of 9 from 3.
It's impressive. 4 games for the JackJumpers so far, and Majed had tallied 19 points total. So far, 7 minutes of play, 11 points, 4 of 4 from the field.
How's the hustle from the JackJumpers? Weeks likes a 3-point shot.
Just shoot it.
Get it into this man's hands. Here is Weeks. Domination early from the JackJumpers. He goes again, Majed. My goodness me.
Lord.
Could you find a hotter player anywhere?
Squirt him with a hose.
You got to love it. Comes in, there's all kinds of questions and comments about his form. Benched throughout the second half and overtime in that win over Brisbane. What a response. 14 points. We got still 2 minutes 43 to play in the first.
Let's take a listen to CJ Bruton, who caught up with Case earlier. His points of emphasis for tonight, I'm not sure it's going to plan.
Clearly we need to control the tempo. I think coming home and playing in front of the biggest crowd in this arena is definitely a special moment for us as a club. For our players to not be on the back foot and be nervous. We played in front of bigger crowds in the US, but I think right now controlling the tempo is a big key for us. Milton Dolan has been amazing. Rashard Kelly's been awesome coming off the bench. Most impactful player in the league right now. And the Jet, even though he hasn't got going, I don't want him to get going against us. So they've got other guys that continue to play hard and battle and punch above their weight. And I feel like we need to keep them under control. And for us, it's about understanding where we're at right now and use everybody and not be selfish.
So that was the plan. The plan appears to be out the window, Mitch Creek, Liam Santamaria.
Yeah, wow. that one didn't age well.
Oh, no.
But who could have expected? I mean, the JackJumpers defensively so sound. We know that the 36ers got some wonderful shooters, as we saw in the US, but they have not been able to generate anything. So is there anything in the return from overseas, do you think, Mitch? I mean, they got back into Adelaide on Sunday. It's a reasonably quick turnaround.
Look, it's tough sometimes, yes, but at the same time, you're professionals. You're going to you're going to travel. You're going to have sore spots. You're going to have niggles. You're going to have sickness. Whatever it is, there's no excuses. There's 5 guys on the floor against Tasmania right now, and it's the pace into offense. It's, you know, the pressure from JackJumpers up the court, their pickup points. You know, the first defender picks up the Adelaide guy, you know, at the free throw line, 3/4 court, where Adelaide are meeting him at half court, and they're getting picked apart right now.
Kelly Bairstow had to work hard. Harris comes up with it for the 36ers. Detch, Harris, and Randall's being very closely. Donald's been very good for the JackJumpers this season. Left-hand floater goes up from Randall. That's classy.
Good take from Randall. McDonald crawling in, taking away the space, trying to run him off the arc, and he attacks off the bounce. That was a sweet finish with the floater.
And there's a shot from Weeks. His three-point percentage this season has been excellent.
All the talk's been about the three-point shooting from Adelaide over in Arizona. Well, 7 of 11 in this first quarter from the JackJumpers.
Franks working hard towards the basket. The putback doesn't go from Harris, but he does get the offensive rebound. Randall off the glass, no.
And that's a tough one for Adelaide. They're coming down, they're getting decent offense. You get an offensive rebound and you shoot a contested. Oh, that would have been crazy. Shoot a contested 3. You know, you've got a fresh shot clock. Use the 14, come back down, still run a 2-for-1 with the time left.
Randall kicks it out. Drimmick kept it in and
great hustle by
came
Drimmick.
off Bairstow. .22 points. Great desperation. That's what's required right now from the 36ers.
Front row seats are a little further back, I think, after a few years ago. A player for Adelaide kicked a kid in the face. I don't know who that was.
Who was that bloke?
I don't know who that guy was, but he had a size 13 Nike.
Who was wearing those sneakers?
Straight in the kid's face. Tweety was on his shoes, I'm pretty sure. So I think the regulations are now an extra 3 feet back. Sorry to the child and the father. I kicked him square in the face, diving for a loose ball over the first row.
Did you touch base? Sign a jersey?
I did. I helped him up because I'm pretty sure he had a blood nose. I didn't obviously care at the time. I didn't realise until the next possession. I went over there and picked him up and I looked at him and yeah, he had blood coming out of his nose. So I did sign a jersey and I think I gave my shoes to them. So
I think that kid probably thinks it was well worth it, and that is going to be quarter time in this clash. The JackJumpers' biggest ever quarter time lead. They have laid it down against the 36ers. 32 points to 10 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. have been creating surprises of late, the Adelaide 36ers. There was the magic of Phoenix. There is the disappointment of tonight so far. The Tasmania JackJumpers have been absolutely sublime in that opening quarter, though, fair to say, Liam Santa Maria. And Mitch Creek alongside me, Alistair Nicholson.
They really have. Majette, of course, led the way. There's the shot chart for Majette. 4 of 5 from long range. 14 points in that opening quarter. What a spectacular response from him. But the team as a whole, they outplayed, outworked Adelaide in that first term. The JackJumpers have twice as many offensive rebounds as Adelaide have defensive. 8 offensive rebounds in that first quarter. So they just want more right now, and they're reaping the benefits.
It's hard to get rebounds when it goes in every time. Gosh, too.
That's a fair point.
It's normally a tough one to scout.
What about the numbers for Majette? 25% his field goal percentage this season coming in. As doesn't quite go from McDonald. 83.3% tonight. He was 3 of 17 from outside as Cleveland finds a bucket. He's 4 of 5 from three-point range tonight. And this on the back of being benched by his coach. He could not have asked for a more pronounced turnaround in his fortunes. McDonald, Kelly gets a look. And that has come off Cleveland. It'll be a JackJumpers ball.
Bairstow doing Bairstow things too. Physical in the box out, pushes him under the ring into a bad rebounding position. And fortune favours the Brave. Just keeps working hard, and he always seems to get these rolls.
Kelly gets a good look. No problems. Sunday Detch out to Randall. Defense from the JackJumpers at the moment, almost impenetrable. Weeks. McDonald. Doyle. Back it comes again. He had all the time in the world, but same result.
Another look at it, thanks to Kelly's effort on the offensive glass. Just couldn't find the target.
Detch getting busy. Great stuff, Sunday Detch.
That's tough though. You single man offense, you dribble down, couple of crossovers, spin move, no one else touches the ball. You watch Tasmania, they're going to be 5 or 6 passes before someone gets a shot off.
Downhill go the 36ers, Randall.
This is what CJ Bruton spoke about pre-game, about controlling the tempo. They're just at the start of the second quarter, just starting to shift that a little bit. They get a stop, and Antonius Cleveland scores in transition, then Sunday's on the attack here, and then again, another stop. They're off to the free throw line, just trying to bring a little pace into the game, and of course it starts at the defensive end, finishing possessions and pushing the rock.
And all of a sudden the Amy replay's looking a little rosier for the 36ers. And Randall work his way into it. Can he get that hot hand going? Quarter time margin was 22. Got it back again, the 36ers.
From Kelly there. He needs to be solid, knowing Sunday Detch.
His best attempt. And another chance. And Randall.
What a great find from Cleveland. Timeout. Scott Roth can feel it. Crowd getting involved. Momentum going Adelaide's way. And great find from Cleveland. Give Randall a look at it there after the offensive rebound. Crisp pass across court, and he finds him right in the shot pocket.
Well, Josh Majette has been inspired tonight. Let's take a listen to his expectations for this season at the JackJumpers.
When I signed in Tassie, everyone back in the States was like, "Where is Tanzania?" And I was like, "That's not where I'm going." But yeah, it's been amazing. The community supporting our team, even when we were not winning games, has been, you know, better than we could have ever imagined, and they're really getting around the team, and there's a lot of excitement in Tassie right now going into the season, and just excited to get back out and in front of the fans and get to playing again in front of them.
It started a little shakily this season for the JackJumpers, but worth remembering it did last year. They were 2-6 to start their debut season in the NBL, the JackJumpers, and went on that Cinderella story ride towards the playoffs. Here's the last big three knocked down by Randall, who's just starting to get into the game, Mitch Creek.
Yeah, he is. Look, he only needs one little sniff. Makes 2 free throws, sees them go through it. Any good basketballer knows. All you need is one deflection, you know, one good moment of just seeing it go your way, and all of a sudden it opens up massively.
Chris Levick. Defensive foul. Things are swinging a bit, Lou.
Yeah, there's the energy on D from Anthony Drimmick. Just being a pest. Just getting in the passing lane. Knows exactly what they're trying to execute there and makes it tough for Milton Doyle to get open. Calls the offensive foul.
Encouraging start to the second period from the home side. With a huge and highly expectant crowd. Drimmick travels. So the JackJumpers just being challenged a little here. McDonald, the Jet, more good hustle from Drimmick. He's got a taste for it, but we'll go the JackJumpers' way here.
Drimmick brings that energy every game. He's always a guy that defensively, he's going to dive on the loose balls. He's going to get in your face. He's going to start something. You just know. I love the bearded wonder very, very much, and I also hate him equally.
Weeks in Weeks kind of territory. Shots aren't dropping, and well, hard to emulate the feats of the first quarter. Randall. Rebound. Detch can't get it to go.
It's good hustle from Sunday Detch. Some guys coming in off the pine and bringing some energy. Anthony Drimmick, like you're saying, Creaky, the bearded wonder, getting involved. There's Grant Kelly, the owner. Wouldn't he have been happy with how things played out? I called him and spoke to him that night in the lobby of the hotel, and he had to stay back in Australia for family reasons, but he was a very, very happy man. But Sunday Detch as well, coming in off the bench and bringing some energy.
And that's it. Sunday had one of those strips deflections.
McCarron. Cleveland into the paint. They are coming now. There's a little confidence growing. What are you seeing, Brett Maher, down courtside?
I've just been listening into CJ in the timeouts. He was a bit disappointed with their work rate decision-making early, really happy with the increase in defensive pressure. That's obviously turned the momentum in their favour, and we're starting to hear the crowd get into it a fair bit more now as well.
Great to have Brett Maher and John Casey courtside for us. Randall goes to the bucket and comes up with another 2.
That's a heck of a finish. One of the things he's going to keep doing is he's going to keep coming at you, shooting the ball. It's a great response.
One more. Bag work from Chris Levick.
Randall's that heater. You just know. He's made 1 or 2 shots. He's got on the rim. A couple of floaters going to his left. You've always got to be aware of him. Macca has done a great job, I think, evolving his game, just finding guys and being patient with his offense. He doesn't need to be super aggressive. He's got stars around him, a lot of scoring potential.
So margin 14 after it was 22 at quarter time. Biggest quarter time lead in the JackJumpers short history. CJ Bruton. 45th season of the NBL, 37th season in which a Bruton has been involved. It's an extraordinary legacy in this competition. Much loved figure wherever he's gone.
Hasn't aged a day in 22 years, I reckon. That might be a new island, Randall Island. There's Cotton Island, and no one wants to go live there. I know I'm happy to switch that one to Kyle Adnam. Wild Kyle, sorry mate, but you're on your own up there. Randall Island, once he makes a shot, that might be just as scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because he's a chance to launch it at any moment, and you're going to need to crawl in and take away that space.
This season, with thanks to Latrobe Financial, we're giving away a guaranteed $50,000. Enter now at nbl.com.au/legends for your chance to win $50,000 with thanks to Latrobe Financial. That one drops as well. And Randall all of a sudden has 13 points. Margin back to 12. Jet, what do you think about it from there, the way he was going in the first quarter? Could drain it from anywhere. There is Majet.
Speaking of.
Goodness.
Oh, boy.
He just keeps doing it. So you would have
hot.
been in a position like this before, Mitch Creek, where you just feel like you can't miss. What's it like?
Look, Simon Mitchell would be one that he gets real sweaty and nervous because I've only got to hit one shot and I feel like I'm Josh Majet right now. But yeah, I've never seen a shot I don't like after making a bucket. It's just one of those things. All the repetitions you go through, you know, the blood, sweat and tears are just for moments. And we spoke about it before the broadcast started, that it's about the moments in basketball. And those are the moments. You hit one, you make another one, it just comes out beautifully. Or it might be a flop.
Oh, no. He handed it to him.
He threw it at him.
We might see the Westbrook from today.
He threw it at him on the ground.
Delay of game.
Look at it at halftime.
Hang on, just wait a second. Stop.
There's the strength of Franks.
I'm going to review to
right through the middle and
see if it was a throw.
Just in the rock. Okay.
Okay, replay centre. Can I please review whether the ball was dropped or thrown at the player on the floor? For a technical foul?
Okay, the review centre's been put to work.
Yes, mate, I got you.
This has been an impressive fight back from the 36ers. If you've only just tuned in recently, well, it seemed like a fair margin. It was considerably greater. 22 points.
The delay of game is wiped. If it's a technical foul against Franks, blue 0. One shot. Baseline to white. One shot.
What do you reckon, Liam?
Soft. It's by the letter of the law, that's a tech these days, with how it's written up, but jeez, that's soft.
McVeigh takes advantage.
I was just switching away. I didn't know whether he...
It's tough. It's the competitive fire you have. Yes, you have to be disciplined, but you know these guys are going at it. They just got their behinds given to them in the first quarter. So Franks is making a point now. He's trying to get on the rim. Randall's made a few plays. They're picking up full court now. We didn't see this in the first quarter.
Zach White. Karen. Thankfully bouncing up quickly there.
Can we just check the clock's okay there, please?
There's a bit happening. Sort of without too much happening, if you know what I mean, on the floor at the moment. So Isaac White, who's a junior at the Sturt Sabres, originally from Adelaide. Here he is. McVeigh on the spin and gets it to go.
We just talked about it. You see free throws go through. And a little awkward shot from Jack, but if you've followed Jack on social media or ever watched a game of basketball, he's pretty accustomed to those. I like that. Franks drives after the whistle and Jack chases him down to try and block him.
He's so important, Jack McVeigh, isn't he? If you look at the match against Brisbane, they got out to a 16-point lead in the second quarter. McVeigh had minimal influence. The longer the game went on, the more it started to swing. It was on his shoulders.
Yeah, massively important. You think back to last season, it was when they realised they needed to get him more involved that their season started to turn. They started to find their way a little bit offensively, and coming into this season, you just knew you was going to go to another level. Career highs right now in points and rebounds per game, and I think that'll continue throughout the season.
Travel called on Jack McVeigh.
Play a game to White.
Yeah, if you don't consider him a star of the league right now, I reckon you have a few more sips of whiskey and rethink your thought process, because he's
a star?
Yeah, I think he is. He's one of the big three now. He's definitely someone that I think, maybe not this year, but I think in the next 2 to 3 years, he's going to be up there with your All-Star fives, first and second teams consistently. And then I hope he really gets to make a push, not just internationally overseas, but I hope he gets a chance at some higher levels, because he's definitely got what it takes skill set wise. And yeah, a few more years, and I think he's going to be there mentally as well to really take on that challenge.
Franks is trying to give his team a pick-me-up, and they're picking him up after his good work. Majette, Kelly, these three-point shots just not falling, but Isaac White works his way inside to the rim and finds a couple.
The Moulay with the lay.
Moulay looked good up there.
Moulay, yeah.
Didn't it?
Shakes nicely up there.
Oh, Randall muscles up, walks through the defence. Randall's up to 15 points. Jet kicks it out. White.
Another one.
Open look. The three goes.
It's kind of how it's gone tonight. Whoever's scored a bucket, they've come down and got another good look, and guys have been scoring in bunches. It's second quarter. Really turned it on.
That's his first bucket. Mitch McCarron, Daniel Johnson, two stalwart locals. Not a massive influence so far.
McVeigh, his three-point shooting over the last year or two has gone to a new level. So he made 60 of his 128 career threes last season.
Look at the three-point shooting from a team perspective there. 1 of 8. Adelaide, 10 made triples at nearly 50% from Tassie.
Randall, short, and the Jet with the rebound. Foul on White. Randall.
CJ Bruton wants to have a bit of a chat about it. Get a little organised offensively. They're getting a little three-point happy. Wants some balance to their execution. There you see the foul drawn from Isaac White, especially with Craig Randall. He's 1 of 6 from long range.
It's not a technical. There's confusion with the score table. Timeout, Adelaide.
There's the timeout he wants, CJ. So I'm saying Craig Randall, 1 of 6 from long range. He's 4 of 4 from inside the arc. So when he's put it on the deck, he's been successful. CJ doesn't have a timeout.
So you do not have any timeouts left.
All right. So things are being laid down.
Is there a rule around that one?
Is that a Chris Webber technical?
What happened there? What
Did you get away with that on your home floor?
That's the turning a blind eye, that one.
Timeout, Tasmania.
Oh, so Scott Roth just gifted it to him. So you know what, CJ?
What a nice guy.
We got you up 16, 17 here on your home floor. You really want that timeout? I'll give you one.
That's why he's such a revered, likeable figure within this league, Scott Roth. Craig Randall on overtime made for really interesting listening, watching. Let's have a little look at what he had to say about coming back to Australia.
We're preparing for what's coming in the NBL season. So we know everybody's watching, and we know everybody's talking about us and everybody's out for us. But like I said, we are out for everybody too. So that's the one thing about us, is we're not just sitting here waiting for everybody to come get us. Like, we feel like we still have so much to prove. So when we get back to Australia, we're gonna have the same mindset, same intensity, same focus, and we're trying to win a championship. So every night we have to prove that, and that's what we're willing to do.
They look like they might have the roster that's capable of something, albeit a bit of a slow start tonight, the Adelaide 36ers. But if you look at it, the last 3 seasons they've finished 7th on the NBL table. Big expectations, though, with this roster that they have. And they've essentially said it's win the title or bust this year.
Yeah, 4 straight seasons outside the playoffs ever since Creaky and co made it all the way to the granny. And
very nice of you, Liam, to say that.
They have been saying that. It started in Las Vegas. Robert Franks, Antonius Cleveland. And you see Craig Randall. He's heated. Having a bit of a conversation there with CJ. But championship or bust is the phrase. What do you think about that? Creaky, championship or bust?
Look, I'm on the fence with that one. Everyone says it every year.
Oh, what?
But I put it this way. If you're playing poker and you say, I'm all in or I'm bust, when you bust, it means you go home, you stop gambling. I don't know what championship or bust means because you're just playing the game. Each game is an individual game. And if you're trying to say it's championship or bust, well, that's a long, cumulative process of, game by game, day by day, week by week. And if you bust, well, what happens then? Do you just not play next year?
Kenyon.
It's a tough one.
Blow the team up?
Let's look at the JackJumpers. They didn't win the championship last year, but there's no one in the world who would try to suggest for a second that it was a bust season for the JackJumpers. There are 9 busts per season based on that theory. One championship.
We busted last year too. For us, we won one more game last year than we did the previous year, and we considered it as a failure. But there were positives to take out of it. Now, every team, wants to win a championship, yes. You don't get up in the morning and say, I want to run around and get elbowed and, beaten into the ground and dive on loose balls for no reason. You go there to win. So when guys are saying it's all in or it's nothing, well, it's a bit of a hard thing to kind of live by because it is a day-by-day process. And, yeah, it's not just given to you on a platter.
So the JackJumpers just over a minute until half-time. Lead still at 16 after 36 has made some inroads in the second period. Kelly rejected by Franks, kept alive by Drimmick, and still they come. McCarron downhill, great ball. Drimmick started it and finished it.
The no-looker. Mac is just tough in transition. You always know he's going to find the guy that's open. Easy bucket for Drimmick. Great run of the lane.
Majets, he's been dangerous from here, but the deep three not this time.
2-for-1 opportunity there for Majets. Sees the time and score.
JackJumpers ball. The intensity has lifted considerably. Look at this from Drimmick
again.
And finds himself at the other end, finishing off a great piece of play.
Little Magic Johnson going on there with Macca. He's got a bit of that magic.
Little showtime?
Yeah, he does.
He likes to have some fun with it in transition.
Of course, always. It's a beautiful part of this game. Putting adjusting the clock now.
We just spoke before about Majet's early pull-up, one dribble pull-up in that offense, but time and score, I said it before, and for those that are unaware, we know if there's about 36 seconds left in the shot clock in the game, we can get a quick shot up. It gives us a chance to get 2-for-1. We get 2 offensive possessions to the other team only getting 1. So you give yourself a chance to score more, and how the game's broken down with the analytics and the data. Some would say it's a good one. Some people just want to go with 1-on-1, but
Jet can't bank it. Kelly needs to put it up. It's short. And that is half-time. So a margin that was at 22 at quarter-time has been cut to 14. It's the JackJumpers 51 leading the 36ers 37. Half-time Hungry Jacks NBL this season with thanks to Latrobe Financial. We're giving away a guaranteed $50,000. Let's find out how.
Hey fans, this season with thanks to Latrobe Financial, we are giving away a guaranteed $50,000. And like these NBL legends, Wortho and Gibbo, you can be a Latrobe Financial legend. All you need to do is send in a clip of you making a half-court shot for your chance to win a semifinals opportunity to shoot from half court for $50,000. All thanks to Latrobe Financial. Head to the NBL website now to enter.
Randall and Majet.
Welcome back to the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Half-time here between the 36ers and Tasmania. And it's the visitors with a surprise lead of 14 points at the major break in front of a shell-shocked, stunned and silenced big crowd at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. This wasn't on the agenda. It certainly wasn't on the script that I saw pre-game. Brett Maher, full credit to Tasmania, came out, knocked down 3 triples inside 90 seconds and said, how do you like that?
I tell you what, I'm really impressed. The way they come out defensively, they're up the court, really creating pressure. Offensively, their ball movement was spectacular. They got the ball to the right people. Majette was knocking down the 3. It looked really good.
Let's have a look at some of the Hungry Jacks halftime highlights here at the moment. Look away now if you're a 36ers fan, because Majette hit a 3, Doyle backed it up with another, and then Josh Majette went whackety whack whack for a third triple, 9-0 after 90 seconds, and it really took the wind out of the sails of everyone. But as you say, the ball movement's been crisp. They've done a really good job.
Yeah, it was. They got a couple of early steals, which got Majette going. He got to get a few really nice, easy ones early. Then he was hitting from deep, wasn't he? 2 or 3 metres behind the 3. That's good to watch anyone when they're shooting that well. Adelaide had a few little fightbacks there. They tried, nothing seemed to go right. It looked like a good team versus a team of just singularities going at it, trying to get one-on-one all the time, and the good team won out.
Well, Adelaide had a 13-2 burst out of the quarter-time buffer to halve the 22-point margin back to 11. Here are the numbers for you at half-time. And 10 threes at half-time from the JackJumpers and 1 of 10 from Adelaide. We were expecting that was going to be a strong suit for the 36ers.
Yeah, I think a lot to do with that is the way they got the shots. One-on-one, shooting over a hand, Adelaide was. The JackJumpers are moving the ball really well, getting wide-open shots and knocking them down.
Can they get back in it from here, Adelaide?
Oh, look, they started to turn the momentum in that second, so they're good signs. The crowd's starting to get back into it as well. So if they can build on that, they're a chance. But the way the JackJumpers are playing, it's going to be hard.
Optimistic there from Brett Maher. One of the stars for Adelaide is Craig Randall, a new face in the NBL. Let's find out a little more about him now.
They have come out here, they have been intimidated by the occasion, and my glory, Phil Danes, they are knocking it down from everywhere. Don't tell me. Oh my goodness.
The shooting continues. Randall knocking that one down. He has got the hot hand. He was the G League most improved player.
Basketball for me started young. Everybody in my family's played. My mom was D1, my dad, both my brothers. But I've played my whole life, never played any other sport. For me, it's kind of just like my way of life.
Oh, no.
That zone for me is, I just play. Everything just feels like a video game I created, where only I can get to what I want to get to. It's definitely a fun place to be. When you're in those modes and you just can't be stopped, everybody lives for those moments too.
That's ridiculous. Wow. And that will do it.
They were the Western Conference champs. You just had 35. This is a game that could potentially change your life.
I'm locked in on the NBL season right now. I'll worry about the NBA when it comes, but I hope everybody watch tonight. Adelaide is here. I mean, we're going to come back to Australia and worry about those games and see what we can do this year. I told you earlier, we're not here to play. We're not scared of nothing. I put my team against anybody, and we show up tonight.
The Adelaide 36ers just working their way back into this game. Craig Randall getting a few to drop in that second quarter. He is now up to 15 points for the game, but 1 of 7 from three-point land, and that is the area of the game that we're all in raptures about on that trip to the US, Liam Santa Maria.
Yeah, he's had a bit of trouble finding his range from out there, but I like the fact that he's been creating towards the rack a little bit. There you see the shot chart for Randall on the left, Josh Magette on the right. So for Magette, pretty much all from long range, 5 of 7 from out there, whereas Randall, he's having a bit of a difficult time out there, but he's been putting it on the floor, getting himself to the rim, ticking the scoreboard over.
So Milton Doyle, he was the hot hand for the JackJumpers in the previous game against the Brisbane Bullets when they won in overtime. Great comeback. They've obviously taken a bit out of that performance as well, the JackJumpers that they brought tonight.
Yeah, for sure. He got going in that first quarter. Creaky, 10 first quarter points.
Yeah, when you come out hot like that, you know the pressure kind of relaxes a little bit and everyone else can kind of get into the flow of the game. But they've got to really sustain that in the second half. He's got to be aggressive, getting downhill, putting pressure in the paint, because when he gets downhill and on the rim, it creates opportunities for guys like Jack McVeigh and, as we've seen tonight, Josh Magette shooting the ball really well.
So 22 points was the JackJumpers lead at quarter time. That's their biggest lead at quarter time in their history, and went against the flow of their season as well, where they've been poor starters. And you know what they're capable of defensively. Offensively, they've been so on tonight.
Yeah, well, they've been just taking advantage of their open opportunities. Shot the heck out of the ball in that first quarter, 7 of 12. We spoke about how they're 10 of 24 now, so that means they were 3 of 12 from long range in that second quarter. Yep. And Magette, Doyle, they got off in that first term, only 3 points between them.
Why haven't we seen Kai Soto at any point?
Look, I think it's a tough one because your rotations are obviously a little shorter sometimes. Pre-season's a little different to when you actually start your season. You've got your main guys, 7 or 8 in the rotation at the moment, but DJ's been quiet. You expect him with his injury cloud to hopefully get into a bit of a rhythm in the second half, but if he's still quiet, I think we can see Kai Soto in the second half.
It's been an interesting rotation from CJ. We've been wondering whether they were going to have the legs coming in, and it's been a bit of a shallow rotation. No Kyron Galloway in that first half. No Nick Marshall, who did some good things over in the States. So leaning heavily on those main guys.
Second half action underway in the Hungry Jacks NBL Round 3 action. Thursday night live from Adelaide. The 36ers, have they got a special half in them? Randall. McCarron. There is Johnson, who had that ankle injury. We weren't certain he was going to play tonight. JackJumpers wanted a call of travel. They get it anyway. Magette pounces and lays it up.
That was outstanding defense from the JackJumpers. First possession of the second half. Everything tough for Adelaide.
Randall out to Cleveland. Open look. Short with the shot. Magette has possession again. What do you think needs to change for the 36ers, Mitch Creek? What's the key to really asserting themselves and getting right back in this game as Doyle goes to the paint?
Well, probably less of that. That's a great way to feed me that one. Look, just a little bit sloppy with the ball. Simple basics of basketball there. You know, squaring up, getting into a triple threat position. We hear it as children, right? But just getting your guy on his heels, squaring up, making a decent pass, understanding that if someone's got a little bit of pressure, pass fake, go somewhere else. But right now, it just seems like Adelaide are a little relaxed. You know, they started the game like this, and now the third quarter. I think it's the leaders. You know, DJ, Macca, both need to step up and make plays on both ends of the court and really pull these guys in the line.
Chris Levick there to say no that time. Doyle out to Chris Levick. Doyle. A thought or two went through the mind there. Now he does go from long range. Johnson comes up with the rebound and draws the foul.
Hasn't had much of an influence or an impact, Daniel Johnson, thus far. We mentioned came in under an injury cloud. He turned that ankle in the game against Phoenix, didn't play against Oklahoma City. Weren't sure whether he was going to suit up tonight and just hasn't really been able to get himself involved.
Johnson. There's some pressure. McCarron.
Little fade away. There we go.
Well picked it, Mitch, but
the saucy special.
It's just not dropping. 36 is looking to make inroads in this third quarter. It's the JackJumpers extending their lead so far. Will be a 36ers ball.
Remember what we heard from CJ Bruton to begin the game about controlling the tempo. This is Tasmania JackJumpers basketball right now. It's a half-court grind at both ends of the floor. They're forcing Adelaide late in the shot clock. They're moving it through hands and executing down the other end. Adelaide need to try to get some stops, get out and run, and lift the tempo of this game.
Here's Randall.
That only happens if Adelaide do get stops. It's hard if you're coming down, you know, taking out the net every time. You can't create any tempo. You don't have any control of the game. You end up settling for quick threes. You know, lucky to kind of get the foul on that one, but you know, get through offense. You've got veteran guys out there who are going to make plays for others in DJ and McCarron. You've got three, obviously, superstars out there in your imports, but they need to really move that ball. Take a note out of the Jackie's book right now, and just like that.
There we go, Franks getting involved, trying to ignite this crowd. So far this season on the small sample, this has been the quarter when JackJumpers' defense has really come to the fore. They've conceded 10 points in the third quarter against Brisbane, 6 against New Zealand, and 14 against your team, Mitch Creek. The only anomaly in all of that was when Cairns got on an absolute tear with 39 points. Franks again. A few shots start to fall, and the 36ers might be able to find a way back, but just not consistently at the moment. Kenyon stolen away. Cleveland. There we go.
That might just be the play to spark them. Antonius Cleveland has a knack for turning games around with his effort at the defensive end and his athleticism in transition.
Vay goes to work.
Beautiful move. Even just the possession before that, Jack uses a really smart down screen, comes off it, shoots it with confidence. Next possession comes down, uses his shot fake, gets the defense off their feet, and just uses his versatilities.
36 is going at 39.5% from the field. Johnson!
Here we go.
Knocks down the three. A couple of encouraging passages here for the 36ers. JackJumpers going at 46.7% from the field. Barely missing that first quarter.
Cleveland again there.
This is beautiful execution. Franks loves the left hand as he heads towards the cup. Really nice back pick from Mitch McCarron to get him open, and then Cleveland picks it out of the passing lane and rises above the rim.
Brett Murray is starting to see some signs from the 36ers.
Yeah, a little change in defensive intensity. I think when they got back into the game in that second quarter, they got up the court, put extra pressure on, caused some turnovers. They've just started to do that now and found their way to the bucket for a couple of nice dunks. So that's probably what they need to do, is just keep that pressure up defensively.
Randall's fade away. Majets. That's car park territory there. Why wouldn't you, though, if you started the way that he had?
I'd love to see Tassie right now. Just really simple action for them. I think some of their offensive structures right now is kind of, you know, early threes and deep threes, very, very deep threes. You know, Kmart and Chemist Warehouse, proud sponsor logo threes, but just, you know, single side on ball, just making sure if it's Majet or if it's, you know, McVeigh before with Doyle, putting those two guys on a side on ball with no one else in the corner, then the weak side has to rotate. You've got Doyle getting downhill, someone like McVeigh finishing or popping, creates really good flow offensively, gets the ball through hands, gets the defense shifting and making them rotate.
Great to have Mitch Creek as part of the commentary team tonight. Kenyon gets an open look. Cleveland the rebound. Quickly down court he goes. Can't Laid in with that left hand. The finger roll didn't go.
You see the desire for Adelaide to pick up that tempo. When they get a defensive rebound, you hear CJ Bruton yelling, go, go. He wants them to push. Got to make sure they make good decisions when they're on the fly.
Can they really get this crowd involved, the 36ers? Huge crowd at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Detz. No. And Rashard Kelly comes up with the rebound for the JackJumpers.
And look at the way Majette walks the ball up the floor. They'll get it through hands. Here they go, some second side offense. They will not beat themselves, the JackJumpers.
Kelly into the paint. Short on the shot. And another rebound for Cleveland.
That's the offense you want though, Liam. You know, first side, second side, and then it ended up with Kelly and Doyle then.
Johnson, the veteran.
If that pass is on the money, Kelly times his roll just a little bit better. He's going to go straight into a nice little 2-foot gather and finish on the rim, or at absolute worst, he's got a nice little one-dribble right-hand hook shot.
And the more they execute deep into the shot clock, the JackJumpers, up 14, the more they're going to frustrate Adelaide, force them into making bad decisions and taking early shots down the other end. And this is just how Scott Roth's squad executes and drains the energy out of you as you try to make this comeback.
Oh, that might be one.
Walk away. Walk away.
It's getting heated.
Don't do anything. I don't need you to retaliate.
McCarron pleads his innocence.
I don't need you to retaliate. This ref, he can grab his phone. Stop. 2, push. This way. I've got the first bump. You don't need to then run into him. No, we're going over there. But yeah, you can talk with me.
I'm running straight, right?
So he bumped you. That's why I bought a foul on him.
Under me, correct?
Yep.
I didn't do anything else.
Then you keep running at him, yeah? That's what I just want to make sure you don't do.
We both hit once and I get the foul?
No, you got the first bump and then he...
My hands were showing. He
Well,
a little more than a friendly disagreement, that one.
Paper, scissors, rock. Let's just go with that. It's the oldest of times and way to figure out a disagreement.
So that ended up just being a foul on Majette, right? No foul on McCarron, which is interesting. Usually it's the guy that retaliates that, you know, gets picked up by the official.
That's just life, isn't it?
That's a tough one.
The retaliator always cops it. Coach's challenge.
This is a Scott Roth coach's challenge?
Has to be.
Yep.
I'm not sure if CJ will review his own.
I get you. I get you. So the question is this initial, that's the foul.
I like that. That's a transition. If someone's coming at you in transition, you want to hold your ground a little bit, take a bit of momentum, and you want to do this. You want to bait him into doing exactly what he did. Macca pleads his innocence, but that's just bracing yourself, and that, I think if a paper, scissors, rock game went on right now, I think Josh throws out scissors, Macca throws out paper.
Coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The call on the floor is confirmed.
Both threw out rock.
The foul will remain on white too. We're restarting the backcourt to Adelaide.
So I like the fact that they found the initial foul, because that was an initial bump on Josh Majette. I'm surprised that McCarron got away with the extra one.
Let's go to Case, because it looks like Craig Randall's got some family in the house, Case.
Exactly right. I'm here with Kyle Randall. This is Craig's brother from the United States, with his family, wife and kids as well. Kyle, tell us about your role here that you're working with your brother.
Yeah, I'm Craig's full-time trainer back home in the States, and his first trip overseas, you know, we just felt that it was best that he had some support over here, and it was a way for us to train all year round, and so yeah, we're happy to be here.
And how are you all settling in particular, Craig?
He's settling in great. He got a chance to, you know, go home a little bit for that, you know, NBA tour, and now that he's back, his mind is set on the championship, so he's settling in fine, and so are we as a family, so it's going great.
How tough is it when you're a new player in a new city and so much expectation here? It's a lot of responsibility for a young man on his first trip outside the United States to handle.
Absolutely. It's definitely a lot of pressure, you know, but he's prepared for it. He put in the work, and he's looking forward to it. He's up for the challenge, and he's excited to, you know, go after a championship with this team.
Really appreciate your time. Enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Great to hear from Kyle Randall there, brother of Craig, with John Casey, courtside. He's going to be a great addition to this 36ers lineup. I suppose for him, to help him settle into Australia, great to have some family around as well.
It is tough. I know everyone says it, the grind. It's something that I wouldn't consider a grind. It's more of just a mental battle that you have to remind yourself you're there for a reason. You're there to either support your family, your kids, your wife, you know, whoever it is in your life. You're there for a reason, and to have family there makes it a hell of a lot easier. I know when I was in America, I had my
burger time.
Ooh, is that
burger
Jesus?
time, Mitch. The code word is feed. The code word is feed.
I don't feel bad anymore. I've given away a few now.
You're a fan favourite, weren't you, for that?
Yeah, look, I've copped my fair share of thanked for cheeseburgers.
They absolutely love their cheeseburgers in Adelaide. They really go after them.
I've got a friend over there, Matt Hancock. Shout out to Matty Hancock right now. Go and enjoy a couple of cheesies and have one for
me. With thanks to Matt Kenyon.
Frustration building for the 36ers. You see Craig Randall, the shoulder slump after that turnover. They're looking at the scoreboard, still down 14.
And the pickup points have gone back to, you know, three-quarter court now. I know that might be a part of the game plan, but just setting a tempo defensively, how you want your guys to defend, it starts with the pickup points off the point guard.
Did a lot there, Rashad Kelly. Muscled his way into the paint and found the finish. The 36ers need a spark. Who's going to bring it? Who's going to knock down a big three? No one at the moment. McCarron unable to keep possession.
Great defense from the JackJumpers. Man, they've been terrific in this third quarter. You've got the lead. They were outplayed in that second term, but they've come out in this third quarter and defended at a high level, controlled the tempo of this game, and they've pushed themselves out to a 16-point margin.
So it's reaching a stage where it needs to turn for the 36ers, and quickly. The JackJumpers, the style of play tonight has just been suffocating, hasn't it? We saw that offensive work in the first quarter, but now it is that D that the JackJumpers are renowned for that continues to deny the 36ers as they try and fight their way back. Let's have a listen to CJ Brook and see what he can do.
Bust over. They don't give a shit if they get a foul call, but they're getting to us at frustration level. So set a pick, come off that, sharp, try and get a catch. Again, he's not open. Second guy, get open. Strong leads. Offensively, we're in, let's go wide. Go wide. Wide elbow. Wide elbow. Play splits.
You hear him talking there about the frustration level building and how the JackJumpers are getting into it, and you can see it there. You can see it on the face of Craig Randall and some of the guys in that huddle.
Yeah, it's a tough one. This is where we spoke about before, just the leadership skills of Adelaide kind of stepping up to the plate now, and you know, the new guys coming in, they've got to be able to look around that team and say, okay, what do you need from me?
Kenyon wide open, rattles out. Case, what did you hear in the JackJumpers camp with Scott Roth?
Oh, great energy in their camp, and really succinct message from Scott Roth as well, saying that they haven't done anything as yet. They just need to keep going as Franks knocks down the two and draws a foul. But they're really switched on, really in tune with what the coach has to say. Great coaching again from Scott Roth. And just an update on the crowd here tonight, 8,027 is the official number. So not into the 9,000s that we were hoping for, maybe near record, but 8,027. Healthy crowd in here for the opening night. Of course, Adelaide plays again on Saturday night. And coming off the biggest round 2 crowd ever in NBL history, there seems a big appetite for basketball here in the NBL.
Yeah, absolutely. Case, there's a lot to like about it. So many stars playing in this competition. Locals plying their trade with great distinction as well. Weeks from up top. Ditch the rebound. And the eyes of the world ever increasingly on this competition as well. Franks from downtown. I have not seen that shooting performance of Phoenix replicated in any way from three-point range tonight from the 36ers. Bairstow. Nice work.
Just doesn't seem to be kind of flowing for Adelaide right now. They get 1 or 2 really good possessions and they kind of give up a little easy one. Want to really see them execute here. Get a good look.
Dench. Yes!
Oh, boy.
Well, that sparked them a bit.
They desperately needed that. That was 2 of 15 from 3 before that hit. Sunday, a little bit of energy, trying to get his team going.
So this is the closest the 36ers have been since quarter time when the JackJumpers led by 22. So incrementally working their way back against this very rigid D of the JackJumpers.
Good defense, better offense. Called for a good shot. Gotten off that's what they drew up in the timeout, but it's a big play from Sunday there. Here's your man.
Soto, the Filipino, at 218 centimetres.
Can confirm he's very, very tall.
Deep in the clock, the JackJumpers, and they lose it. Soto hands it off. Randall.
Great job from Kai coming in. Gets a deflection, gets a steal, runs down, draws a foul. Fans love him as well down there.
He's going straight to the stripe, the big fella. On the flight from LA to Phoenix, he was in just a regular economy seat. No, exit aisle. I was sitting behind him.
Here at the exit aisle, didn't give up, Liam.
It's crazy how Liam didn't even give him his business seat. Isn't that wild?
And you know the funniest bit? He had his legs all across the aisle, both of them, both legs, and he fell asleep.
Wow.
So everyone trying to find the conveniences throughout the flight had to just sort of work their way over it.
Soto drops both shots, and the margin is all of a sudden back to 11. Kai Soto played the 23 games last season. He's first in the NBL, averaged 7.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds.
I was really surprised he didn't get any tick in that first half. Throwing him out here, and CJ Bruton trying to find a spark.
Well, if the 36ers can get the margin into single figures before three-quarter time, we might have a game on our hands, but Rashard Kelly has other ideas. And that is huge! If that doesn't get them going, nothing will. Randall from long range.
That's the old Kobe Bryant triangle. Get out of there. Just ISO walk down.
3-second differential between game and shot clock. Weeks. The second look. Kelly. It goes.
Gee, that hurts, doesn't it?
That was a very handy bucket for the JackJumpers heading into three-quarter time. It's the JackJumpers leading by 13 points, but Craig Randall, has he found his range? Can he do something special in the final quarter to ignite the 36ers? It's all ahead of us. Three-quarter time, Hungry Jacks NBL action. It's the Jack Jumpers by 13 points over the Adelaide 36ers. Craig Randall, he looks a little wide-eyed and maybe a little fired up. What's going on there, Liam Santa Maria, Mitch Creek?
This is not unusual with Craig Randall. Throughout the preseason, over in the States, these kind of intense, animated conversations with he and the coaching staff. Not unusual. You'll see it at the back of the huddle often. I've seen Robert Franks pull him out of the huddle and say, just cool your jets, young fella. Let's stick together here.
A little bit of time with the team will help. I think understanding your role is obviously to be a scorer, but at the same time, the turnover right here.
Drimmick puts it up. It was well read by McDonald as Cleveland was looking for the dunk.
Yeah, you got to understand that there's a lot of horses out there for Adelaide with a lot of scoring power. So when the ball doesn't come through your hands a few times, or you don't see the looks you think you should be getting, or you just make a shot, and maybe it's the discussion about starting the fourth quarter on the bench. Whatever it is, you just got to understand it's a long season. There's plenty of time to kind of play into a nice rhythm and understand your role.
Cleveland, Drimmick, McCarron, Soto and Detch out there for the 36ers.
And that's that suffocating defense you're talking about, Alistair. Tassie coming out, putting the clamps on defensively. And then down this end, we talked about Kai Soto and his lack of minutes. Tough matchups, no real matchup for him here against Tasmania. Look, guarding the really versatile Rashad Kelly, who hit back-to-back jumpers to end that third quarter.
Zach White draws the foul.
We saw these smaller lineups from Tassie and the influence it had last weekend against Brisbane, who ended up with Baines and Froling and Gack, all their big bodies on the bench throughout that last part of that game, because the Jackies go small, they can all shoot from the perimeter, put it on the deck. Becomes really tough to guard.
And they're tough. You know, you get in the lane, if they're going to foul you, they're going to foul you. They're going to put you to the line. They understand they bump on the weak side, you roll down, you're looking for the ball, and then you've got a Bairstow forearm to the chest, or you've got a McVeigh shoulder. They're very good at imposing their physicality, and that's what gets them those extra few possessions and gets a few teams kind of riled up as we're seeing right now.
McCarron, Detch, it's well short. Soto can't get it to go. That body language of Randall. Any concerns there? I mean, you look at Josh Majette, for example, last week against Brisbane, and his animation when he wasn't on the court and his level of support for his teammates. Looks slightly individualistic there, I'd have to say.
Look, he's a great player. He's going to be fine. I think this is a grinding out period for him. As we said before, it's just about understanding your role, knowing when coach is going to put you in, take you out, what he sees. But you're right, you've got to support your teammates, good, bad or ugly. You've just got to be there by their side and know that they're your brothers in arms and they're your family. You know, you've got to take care of each other, and when it's not rolling for you or you feel like it is, you've still got to support the guy next to you. Sometimes it's a bit of a hit to the ego, but to be great and to be a successful team, we're seeing with Tasmania, they're doing a great job of supporting each other no matter who's hot.
So McCarron goes to the line. Milton Doyle checks back in. Drimmick, not the biggest man there, but got the rebound for the 36ers. Second chance here. McCarron, yes!
Giving him a little spark. McCarron getting on the attack, getting towards the rim. Not their night from long range for the most part, Adelaide. So McCarron trying to get things going towards the cup.
Wide open for McVeigh, but couldn't put that away, Jack McVeigh, when you might have expected him to. Oh, that's clever. Now they're coming to play. McCarron, Franks, and the margin back to 11. So there you go. Just those little moments to spark a side. Is that what we're seeing at the moment potentially here? Still with plenty of time left in the game. Over 8 minutes remaining, or just under, rather, 8 minutes remaining. CJ Bruton to be able to bring them bit of encouragement, perhaps some belief starting to seep into the 36ers.
Really good timeout from Scott Roth. Any little hint of energy or momentum in the building for Adelaide, and he stomps on it. Huddle up. Let's get all back on the same page. Keep McCarron out of the lane. Take the air out of the ball. Execute our stuff and maintain this double-digit lead.
That's tough too, man. Like, you have a breakdown defensively for Adelaide. Jack McVeigh wide open, shooting a very high clip, misses a wide open shot, comes down. They double down, and it's a tough one for Tassie.
So do we have a game on our hands here at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre? 11 points is the lead. It was 22 at quarter time. It's been a gradual eating into the lead, but back to 11. Naomi replay shows us some of the impressive work of the 36ers of late.
The impressive work of Mitch McCarron. What a beautiful pass that was, and I like that timeout from Scott Roth. Just feeling the energy growing in the building, and he stomps on it.
Weeks pulls up for the jumper.
Can't break that 10-point barrier. We talk about it a lot at the Phoenix, but that 11-point buffer in a game is the hardest by far. You make a score, it's 13, 14 points. You fall on the other end of it, and it's a single-digit game.
Cleveland on the spin. And the ball has gone over the baseline. JackJumpers ball.
So it's a tough team for both teams to be in, because as a leading team, you're knowing that that's an 11 to 12-point buffer. And we always talk about it in huddles. We say, hey, we're at that point. It's the dangerous part of the game. We need to be solid offensively, nothing silly defensively. But Tasmania today have just been really solid, and they've made timely plays when it's mattered.
Starting five back out there for the 36ers. Rashard Kelly gave them another look. He's growing in confidence and stature week to week for the JackJumpers as McVeigh is fouled on the way to the basket. Foul is on Johnson.
Hats off to the JackJumpers, man. Every time Adelaide have looked like they might start to ask a few questions, the Jackies have just come up with the plays, hustle plays, energy defensively, getting deflections, Kelly on the offensive glass, and just fundamental execution offensively. Weeks, little mid-range pull-up, knocks it in, just doing all the right things to maintain and really, in the end here, extend this margin.
21 minutes for Kelly tonight. He'd been averaging 21 minutes a game this season, but Scott Roth during the week admitted that he hadn't given him enough ticks throughout the course of the season so far. Wanted to find 23 to 26 minutes a game for him.
There he is right there. Good hands.
Milton Doyle wide open. No problem. And now the timeout.
Oh boy.
CJ Bruton calls them in.
That's big time. Yeah, Scott Roth timeout. What was it, 11 at the time? Is it a 9-zip run since the timeout? Bang, what a response from the JackJumpers out of that Scott Roth timeout.
Coming up tomorrow night in the NBL, the Sydney Kings unbeaten. They are taking on the Cairns Taipans, who've been very exciting to watch so far this season.
Oh
boy. The dunk that stopped the nation. We can't stop talking about it. We can't stop watching it. This will be one to watch. And then it is the Perth Wildcats in action up against Melbourne United, who'll be keen to atone for a disappointing display against the Kings in round 2. So a couple of fantastic matches in prospect coming up for you. Hungry Jack's NBL Friday Night Hoops. That's ahead of us.
It's a big slate of games. Pinder and Cooks, a couple of athletes going head-to-head in the front court. And Melbourne, you're right, they desperately need to go over there to Perth and put on a good showing.
Did love your chat on the Huddle vodcast with Xavier Cooks, the man of the moment.
Sure is.
The dunk had everyone talking. unsurprisingly admitting it was the greatest dunk of his life, Liam.
Yeah, it was interesting him talking just about the confidence he has at the moment. He said, you know what, previously I might have just tried to finger roll that or second guessed it when I saw the shot blocker, and he said, I'm just playing so confident right now. I've just cocked it back and boomed on him.
Loves being a dad too. He's got a little daughter and spends a lot of time with her when he can, but that dream of playing in the NBA still sits there as a very tantalising prospect for him down the track. Let's go to Brett Mark courtside. Brett.
Yeah, really good time out by Scott Roth, the previous one. This one he was talking about giving the ball life. Just let it come to you. They're going to be starting to gamble a little bit to get back into this game. Keep the ball moving. As they have all game, they'll continue to get good shots.
Drimic. Adelaide 36ers have got the margin into a little closer territory here. I don't think the score we're seeing is quite right, is it? It's okay?
Yeah, they were
okay. There was a discrepancy.
Then a 9-zip run.
Yep.
And they just blew it out, quick as a flash.
Can happen, quick as a flash. Randall the steal.
This one might go up.
It does go up. It's long. Rashard Kelly. Rebounds for the JackJumpers. 6 rebounds for Kelly. Okay, with his 14 points tonight. And now Majed, who started it all, set the tone.
Just simple basketball. Playing a splits action, guard-to-guard screen. Four-man's got an easy decision. If the defense break down with any communication, there's always a guy slipping to the basket and just make a simple read.
Oh, Majed again, the steal. He's got 21 points to his name. He's been such a key factor for the JackJumpers. Weeks. He is such a quality three-point shooter. Franks has a go.
6. Here's that possession you were talking about, Creaky. Look at this beautiful execution. There's the splits action, and then Majed just reading the defense on the high side, back cuts to the basket. Textbook JackJumpers execution.
And a few times Milton Doors try to come off a similar action off a down screen around the block area. They chase him up late, and he said a little bit higher around that foul line or above, and it makes it tough to guard. You know, you've got reads, and these guys are very smart. They mightn't be the most athletic in Josh Majed, but you know, he makes very, very smart basketball decisions and goes down the other end and gets a steal and gives his team another chance.
He's been outstanding tonight, Majed, hasn't he? As you said, Alistair, 21 points, but you throw in the 4 boards, the 5 assists, the 4 steals, stat sheet, stuffing performance from the point guard.
Just on the three-point shooting of Jared Weeks now, 9 of 12 from three-point range this season.
That's pretty hot. Cook an egg on him, I reckon.
Based on your theory of earlier, Mitch, if you're shooting like that, it's more like 100 shots. You just keep shooting, you keep firing.
I think there's an unwritten rule in basketball. If you shoot over 60%, you got to keep shooting until you get under it. So I think if I was his teammate, I'd be telling him to keep taking good shots, but to just play the game and continue to trust yourself, because he's playing at an extremely high level right now.
Kelly bides his time. Weeks again. He maintains it, improves it. 10
Thanks,
of 13.
Weeksy. Good on you, Weeksy. Way to hear me up here, mate.
Problem with Weeks at the moment is it's going to take a few misses to take him beneath 60%. Randall drives baseline, Detch finishes.
He's had success tonight, Randall, when he's attacked off the bounce. 2 of 10 from long range. It was a nice find.
The JackJumpers on their way to a second win of the season. Majed's doing everything.
Getting a snitty.
McVeigh. Almost. Marshall getting some minutes for the 36ers. Takes on McVeigh. Can't bank the shot.
Slow it down. Use the shot clock.
McVeigh. Weeks.
3, technical.
Technical foul called on Drimmick. Now remember, this season, thanks to Latrobe Financial, we're giving away a guaranteed $50,000. Make sure you enter now at nbl.com.au/legends for your chance to win $50,000. All you've got to do is go to nbl.com.au/legends. See if you can get your hands on some of it.
It's a very rare miss from Jack McVeigh there. I think he's about in the 90s.
There's Robert Franks, arm around the shoulder for Anthony Drimmick.
Bit of wonder's not happy.
The frustration just boiling over there. They will frustrate you, the Jack Jumpers. You see Nick Marshall storms it down the floor, trying to get a quick bucket. They get the defensive rebound. Everyone just stops. They walk the ball up, almost crawled the ball up the floor. That last possession, they're in no rush.
So, Liam, you mentioned that stat prior to the game about returning teams from the US taking on NBA opponents, not having a great record, and we've seen it play out again tonight. Is there something in it, do you think, the difficulty returning, getting into the season?
Yeah, I think there is, no doubt. The numbers don't lie, right? It's going to be 4 and 8 for those games at this point. But don't forget, Melbourne United went over there and they went 1 point to OKC. They came back and won that title. Perth the following year, they went and made that trip. They came back and won the 2019 title. So it's not like it's the death knell for your season, but that first game back does tend to be a tricky one.
Harris with the putback. And from the 36ers perspective, Mitch Creek, I mean, it'd be silly to read too much into a performance like this when you look at their roster and their expectations for the season.
Yeah, I think right now it's the old adage of, you know, a team of champions doesn't always beat a champion team, and they've got a lot of talent. They've gone away and done some incredible things, but I think Tassie have just, you know, come in ready for this, and they knew what they were up against. They watched the game. They would have watched a lot of film, you know all the talent they have, but, you know, defensively they've been tough. They've got stops. You know, Josh Majette stepped up immensely. You know, outstanding performance tonight. One of the best games I've seen him play in the NBL thus far. You know, really impressive from Jackie tonight.
6 assists, no turnovers as well, critically for Majette to go with his 23 points. Because players can respond one of two ways, can't they? When challenged by a coach, when they feel like their position in the starting lineup's under threat. What a classic example of how to conduct yourself.
And it started in that game. Case was talking about it off the top of the broadcast too, the way he stayed engaged on the bench. We saw some of the body language from Craig Randall earlier on the bench. Towel over the head, disengaged. Well, it was the opposite with Josh Majette last week. Cheering on his teammates, and he's come out here and he's got it done on the floor.
Detch draws the foul and go to the line. So the 36ers up against the Illawarra Hawks on Saturday evening, and the Jack Jumpers will take on Melbourne United. First time those two teams have played since that amazing semi-final series between the Jack Jumpers and Melbourne United last season. So Scott Roth's got his team to a 2-3 start now.
And you tip your hat to Scott Roth as well with that whole Josh Majette situation. Sort of a page out of the Greg Popovich coaching manual about coaching every single one of your guys the same. And he said in the post-game presser last week, he's like, everyone in this group is the same as far as I'm concerned. Yes, some are on bigger salaries, some are imports, some aren't. But if you're not playing well, you're going to sit on the pine.
Yeah, and it's tough sometimes when you have to be humbled like that a little bit as a superstar, as a guy who's coming in expected, you know, to be a starter, to be a guy who's going to contribute a lot like he did last year. You know, it's not always a bad thing. They were able to go... Oh, it's a great finish. They're able to go pretty well so far this season, but yeah, it's the inconsistencies. But sometimes just that fire lit underneath you just a little bit to wake you up and say, you know what, I'm a great basketballer. I have been for a long time. And tonight's been a performance.
Majette downhill, Rashad Kelly. Oh, yes. He's looking for fans to celebrate with. He forgot he was on the opposition's floor.
He did manage to find a hand.
He got one in there, didn't he?
Good kick ahead from Majette. Caught him in stride and then bang. Through the contact. above the rim.
18 points for Rashard Kelly, and just taking a look at his minutes as well, 26 minutes, so it's exactly what Scott Roth is forecasting. We need to give this guy more time on the floor. And he's delivering.
I'm going to give a shout out to Phil on the baseline, the gentleman with the light jeans and the bald head. That's who dapped him up, and I know that fella. He's a friend of ours.
36ers fan?
Oh, he's a fan of basketball.
Okay.
But, job, man. Way to get your touches up. We'll get him a game ball.
It was worth celebrating, worth acknowledging.
Yeah.
Very impressed that you knew him. If we could just hone in on a few other members of the crowd, we'll just test how well Mitch Creek knows the constituents at the Adelaide 36ers.
Great D.
I got a foul on foul 22.
Body's falling everywhere there.
Foul is on Blues 22. Hold on the rebound. 2 shots.
Brett Mahay, what an honour that is. Have your name on a court, and thoroughly deserved. Part of a golden era for the Adelaide 36ers when 3 championships were won in the space of 5 years.
Wait till the second shot, Trevor.
Under the great Phil Smythe. Some very famous names during that time as well. Darnell Mee, Martin Catalini, Paul Rogers, Kevin Brooks. Just to name a few.
Massive shout out to all the legends back there. It was always beautiful walking into those old dome, and even in this arena now, going in and seeing all the banners hung up and a lot of the legends going to the games. Ken Cole, obviously sitting courtside. Big shout out to you, Ken, mate. We love you. We hope you're doing well. Speak frequently on the phone when we can, and I know as soon as Ken calls, I've got to scratch the rest of the afternoon. We sit down and I put on a cup of tea, slow brew that thing, and we start talking. So, mate, we absolutely love you. We hope you're doing well.
What a legend.
Holding foul, baseline.
There he is.
There he is. Always dapper.
34.
Coached the team to its first championship in 1986. Al Green's in the house as well tonight, so everyone's rolled out to see the 36ers. They'll be back. I'm sure the 36ers will be back. This is just a bit of a sluggish start to their season, a season where they're expected to do big things. They place those expectations on themselves as the Parsuit is getting a couple of late minutes. I don't even think the JackJumpers would have, in their wildest dreams, thought they'd come to the 36ers home floor, produce a performance like this. White shot, just a little long. For the 36ers going forward as well, Liam, is going to be improving their record on the road. So 2024 wins, 10 losses on the road. 2021, 3 wins, 11 losses on the road. 2022, 4 wins, 10 losses on the road. You don't win championships if you don't win on the road, do you?
It's a tough league to win on the road, NBL. That's what's remarkable about what Sydney's been able to do in recent times. 14 in a row, but you're right. It's an important ingredient for success.
Bairstow pops it up. Soto the rebound. Last seconds might belong here with the 36ers. But the JackJumpers about to celebrate back-to-back wins. There's a late highlight from Soto. Something for the departing fans to appreciate. Scott Roth and CJ Bruton. 2 great characters there, but what character from the JackJumpers? 0-3 to start the season. They win 2 in a row. And they're starting to get a bit of traction again, these Jackies.
Big time win for Tassie. Came in and whacked them. Up 20. What were they up? 22 at 22. Quarter time. Just punched them in the mouth right from the very get-go and then closed it out beautifully. A 25-point win. So much excitement about Adelaide on their home floor. Big home crowd, and Milton Doyle and Josh Majette and co just came in and smashed him.
It sets up a huge clash against Melbourne United. JackJumpers will be looking to make it 3 in a row, and John Casey is with the Foot Locker player of the game. No surprises here. He's with Josh Majette.
Exactly right, Josh Majette, Foot Locker player of the game. Congratulations, a new career high for you here. And bouncing back after last week where you sat there down the stretch a little bit, that says a lot about your character.
Yeah, it's just one of those games, you know.
maybe a little bit of a wake-up call, but get my mindset where it needed to be. But it's good to get on the road and get a win. They're a super talented team, and it always helps when the ball goes through the hoop a little bit.
You were 3 of 17 from deep coming into the game tonight. You hit 2 in a minute and finished up with a handful. So what turned that around for you?
Yeah, I mean, I would have been worried if my shot didn't feel good, but, 3 for 17, but a handful of those felt really good. So I trust the work that I put in, and it's just a matter of time before they started falling, I thought.
We know you always get your teammates involved. It came with a handful of assists here tonight. You have to run the show. It's a lot of pressure on you. Did it ever sort of wear you down a little bit?
No, I mean, we do a great job of having a good game plan, and we've got a lot of great players on our team that the burden doesn't fall on one person, and I think that's the strength of our team is anybody on any night can come out and get hot, and we'll ride that guy for the night.
And can you explain your preparation, as I mentioned, after last week and having a slow night and then having to bounce back, come in here against a red-hot Adelaide team that had just beaten an NBA side? What was your preparation, your mindset?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to overthink it, but you just trust the work that you put in, and this is my 11th year doing this, so I feel like I have a good routine in place that gets my body where it needs to be, and like I said, our coaches do a great job. We had a really good week of practice back in Hobart to prepare us for it, and just trusting the work you put in, and go out there and play free.
You were staring down the barrel of 0-4 when it went to overtime last weekend. That wasn't the start you wanted to the season, but you bounce back there, find a way to win, come to Adelaide and turn on a show like that. Things are looking up for the JackJumpers?
I'd say so. This league is not for the faint of heart. You got to come out and earn it every single night. There's no, schedule wins where you just walk in the building and show up for 40 minutes and walk away with a win. You got to go out there and earn it for 40 minutes. And I think we probably learned that the first 3 games. And it's, probably good for our team in the long run. But, I think we're in a good place right now and hopefully going forward.
You certainly earned it tonight. Congratulations. That was a very good performance. Well played.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I think Kay summed it up perfectly. Character. That's the word to describe Josh Majet's performance tonight.
Yeah, classy from Majet. And he sparked this win. Yeah, he bounced back from a slow performance last week, but he sparked this win right from the opening tip.
Thanks to you, Liam. Thanks to Mitch. Craig, good luck. You take on New Zealand on Saturday night with some key inclusions, including Joe Chi. So good luck to you. Great to have you as part of the commentary team, Mitch. And on the other side of this, Case and Brett Maher with all the analysis, more reactions after the JackJumpers prevailed 97-72.
Welcome back to the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, where the Tasmania JackJumpers have come up with a most impressive display here, careering away to win by 25 points. 97-72 is the final here. It's a scoreline that we anticipated, but perhaps with Adelaide on the giving end rather than receiving end. Brett Maher is with me, and we take a look at these stats, and it paints a very pretty picture for the JackJumpers. They were super impressive. Take nothing away from them.
Yeah, they were very good. They shot the ball exceptionally well early to get them out to that big lead, and Adelaide just couldn't get past that kind of 10-point barrier, which is, as the guys mentioned, is a real hard barrier to get past. They were very impressive with the way they executed at the offensive end, and their defensive pressure, as usual, was great.
Got it done through so many different ways as well. We saw Majette and Milton Doyle turn it on in that opening quarter. Rashard Kelly was a slow burn during the game, but he finished strongly. 6 rebounds, an equal game high in that category to go with his 19 points. So their imports all came to play. They were energised, as we predicted pre-game, going up against the superstars.
Well, I think they hurt us. They performed exceptionally well. Rashard Kelly finished off in the 2-pointers, 7 of 10. Stepped out, is 1 of 4 from 3, but he does his best work in the paint. They've got some really good sets for him to get open, coming off, getting a post up down low, and he finishes like that on the break. That was pretty impressive.
As you can see, 8 of 14 from the field, 6 boards, and really turned it on in that last quarter with 7 points to come home strongly. As you say, every time Adelaide threatened, Tasmania had an answer. And a comment on Adelaide, in particular Craig Randall, there did seem to be a little bit disjointed at times.
Yeah, it did. Their offense looked disjointed. 1 or 2 passes and then jacking a shot, which doesn't normally work too well for you, unless you're hitting the shots like they did in Phoenix. They weren't hitting the shots tonight and obviously paid the toll.
Well, the Adelaide 36ers shocked the world when they beat the Phoenix Suns. They've hit the ground hard here. A big reality check for them. Can they bounce back? They play Illawarra on Saturday.
Well, I just spoke to Mitch quickly after the game. He said, we'll sort this out by Saturday. So they know there's some issues they have to address, and I'm sure they'll try that and see how they come up against another good quality side in Illawarra.
Big games coming up tomorrow as well. Sydney against Cairns, Perth against Melbourne. But here in Adelaide, it's all the JackJumpers. They win at 97-72 on behalf of Brett Maher and all their hard-working crew and the commentators back at home. We'll see you again soon here on the Hungry Jacks NBL.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.
Have a chat. All right, I'll give you this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, hello, hello. Talking, talking. 1, 2, 1, 2.